Well, good morning. It's Jerry, and today is week 1 of our spring and summer garden. Well, welcome back. I'm so excited about getting this garden going. It's all I think about. I can hardly even get to sleep at night because I just keep thinking of all the things I want to do, the things that are coming up, and what it's going to be like when it all gets going. So let's take a little quick tour, and I'm going to cue you into some things that we did over the weekend and where we're going. So there's not a lot of action going on over here. The spinach is looking nicer, and the Brussels sprouts I think are starting to get a little bugged, perhaps by some pests. There's still a little bit of the nubs coming up, and I think I might give them a little fertilizer today and see if that'll give them a final push and just see where that goes with that. This past Friday I picked up 2 awesome things. This is a lemon thyme and it smells lovely, and this is a Mexican oregano and it smells pretty awesome too. So I'm looking forward to these really growing and being able to dry some of these and capture some herbs for our kitchen. And this is an awesome mint plant that I picked up, and I put it in here because they get pretty wild and they can spread around a lot, but it smells amazing. And the kale over here is looking mighty nice. It got a little bit of some worm tea this weekend, and that little trim got it going good. Over here we've got lots of little seedlings coming up from all of the calendula that I planted, so very excited. Now I'm not sure what kind of flower this is, but if we look over here, if this is still borage, then hopefully this is going to be borage flowers. And here's a little calendula head, and there's one over there too, and if you can see, there's lots of little green seedlings coming up, and this nasturtium looks awesome. I'm wondering if this coming out is going to be the beginning of some flowers. So super exciting over. I'm thrilled to have a couple of herbs going, and the girls are super excited about having some color over there with those pots. And you know me, they were 99 cents. Well, I mean, they were at the 99-cent store for $1.99 each, so there you go. Over here in the flower garden, we've got some calendulas that have come into bloom, and they're so beautiful. And in the evening, they kind of close up. This one's getting ready to open up as well. And we also had one of our mammoth sunflower seeds pop up there. So lots of fun things going on over here with the flowers. And that's another lovely calendula that's opened up. I learned from this book that my husband had picked me up a long time ago at the thrift store, back when I'd first kind of told him, and this is before we were even married, that I wanted to get into gardening. And last night I got to reading that book, and it had so much good information in it, from flowers to vegetables. And one thing I learned is if I keep popping the heads off of these cosmos, then it encourages it to make more. This bed, we're still letting the bees enjoy the broccoli flowers, and I did decide to let this one go to flower. Now, if you're wondering where the peas went, they fell victim to aphids. So if you check out this video, I'll show you a little bit about that and what we do about aphids. Hey there, well, I just wanted to jump in real quick and show you something that I just discovered. And this is something that you're gonna see sometimes just as the seasons change from spring to summer, and sometimes you're gonna see it on plants that are not doing so well. They're having some type of disease, or they're dying out, or they're old, and so it's easy for bugs to want to come and attack them. And so I've got a major aphid issue going on with these peas, this plant of peas that I left in here. I just noticed it, so I want to show it to you so we can chat a little bit about what you can do about these aphids. Get in here really close. Like, see all these little white things? And then see those green things? Those are all different stages of aphids. And if you go, like, we can go along the plant here and you can just see them. everywhere. Now, if this was a plant that I cared about, like my prize tomato plant or something really awesome, then I'd blast these with water as hard as I could, because the way the aphid works, they can't really climb back up on the plant. Another thing is, soon there's going to be some natural predators that eat these that are going to be in the yard, like ladybugs, lacewings, and there's these little microscopic wasps too. They're pretty cool. They actually lay their babies inside of the aphids, which cause little aphid skeletons to be left on your plants. But I don't spray any type of chemicals. I don't use any type of even organic chemicals to deal with my pests. And so far I've been lucky. All I have to do is blast with water. And I usually have only had to deal with aphids on older plants that are on their way out. And so now we're going to cut this thing down, but I did just want to share with you what aphids look like, how you can deal with them, and just know that you can make a choice. If it's something you want to keep, spray it off really good with water, keep an eye on it, get yourself some ladybugs, make a good environment for lacewings and other beneficial insects like that, but try to stay away from the pesticides for a little bit so that the beneficial guys don't get messed up in that process too. But otherwise, we're gonna let this one go to flower, and I'm excited to see what that looks like, and that's why I trimmed it back up quite a bit. I'm trying to keep the aphids and bugs off of it until that time, and that's also why we cleaned up the rest of everything here in the bed. Flowers over here are looking lovely, and if you can see over here in this box, we've got lots of little cosmos and the sunflowers that we planted coming up, so it's exciting to see how far these are gonna go. The girls were having a little sand mud cook-off this weekend, so that's what that is. But with a little bit of shade, these are still seeming to come up. Now the next trick will be once they start, oh look, there's a sunflower right there. It's still got its little seed cap on it. But the next trick will be how much are they gonna have to stretch for sunlight in order to survive. What we kind of got going on here is how the formation of the spring summer garden is gonna go. Right now we're really inspired to do some cool things. I've been watching Little Miss Wannabe Homesteader, and they did some cool stuff with cattle panels, and I've heard of people doing that many times in the past, but actually getting to see somebody work with it has been really inspirational to us. So I can't make you any promises, but I did just kind of want to share with you how we're looking at setting up some things here in the garden as we start to move some of these transplants out. This has always been the starting place for my peppers and my tomatoes, and then as it gets hot we usually kind of gravitate them that way. Everything over here is kind of doing okay. The mustard greens are looking much more nice, and we're just kind of letting things go. This is obviously going to go to flower here pretty quick. This is going to be another growing area. Looking at melons so that they can go up the trellis here, and maybe some zucchinis and crookneck squash here. If you're curious about how that little bathing, plunging episode went for the strawberries the other day, they're doing quite nice, and they've got lots of little new flowers coming, and everything's just looking great. So that was a success, and if you look down there, see, that's a little baby strawberry coming along. So that Duncan thing was a real good success, and if you didn't see that video, you definitely have to check it out. This lovely celery from our kitchen scraps is just awesome, and I'm just letting it go, trying to keep a watch on it because I want to get it harvested before it goes to flower, so we might have to get some of that off and put some cream cheese on it this week. Over here in the salad garden, we've got lots of little things going to seed, and this is one of the lettuces that we've got going, if I can get it to focus. And here's another little sprout shoot that it's got coming. So these are all going to end up being flowers, and if you can see, the cilantro is doing the same thing. It's making that stalk come up the middle. And here we are with the red romaine, same thing. That's that stiff stalk coming up the middle. So we'll start to see some flowers on that soon. And stiff stalk coming up there on the dill. So that's going to flower also. So a lot of interesting things going to flower over here, and our little strawberry baby that we planted just looks lovely down there, and I think this is going to be a good space for it. The garlic is just doing wonderful, so we're excited for that to stay around for a while. I read this weekend on Instagram that lettuce is one of the easiest things to learn to gather seed from, so I'm very thrilled to have had the idea to let those things go to seed instead of just cutting them down. The lemon tree is just out of whack. It flowered crazy right before Christmas, and so these are the flowers from Christmas, and these are the spring flowers that just smell divine right now. So we're back in the process of making lemons over here. I've been taking trimmings off this to make omelets with, and I also gave it some worm tea this weekend, so it's really starting to fluff back up and get a lot of new growth on it. These seedlings are just looking wonderful. This is 3 Punta Bandas that I'm actually going to separate today in another video for you. And those are my Cherokee Purples that just look amazing. So all of these are doing nicely. I'm looking to start moving those into the garden. I'm going to show you in a minute on my phone, like this little weather mishap that we have coming up tomorrow night. When you're growing food, you got to get into looking at the weather all the time, and this little blip in the overnight weather that's coming up on Tuesday night, I believe, is exactly what's kind of keeping me from direct sowing out here right now. So as soon as we round this corner around this one more kind of chilly night, then I'm going to feel better about starting to move some of these tomatoes outside permanently. And also we're going to check in on the seedlings that germinated in the Ziploc bag. They're outside for their first day today to get a little bit of sunshine and move on their path. So they should probably go out into the garden in the next week or two as well. But we're probably going to just baby them along for about a week and focus on getting these peppers and tomatoes out first. So let's go see the babies. I'm going to show you a little bit of video right here that shows how I took a couple of these out of their Ziploc bag and got them converted into these cups. So I just kind of use the root as my measuring stick. So that tells me I'm going to go down to about right there. And I just kind of go to the middle and get a good little space in there, and then I'm gonna slide it down in there and pinch the soil kind of in and around there, because this is what's gonna come up anyway and have the first set of leaves in it, so it's okay if we leave a little bit of that out. And in some places I kind of buried it a little bit, so it's either or. We're back, and real quick I'll just show you that we've got some nice things emerging from the little seeds that I put in here this weekend. These were all really nicely germinated in the Ziploc bag, and now they're popping out and they're getting green on their leaves. A couple of more seed heads still need to come off, but I'm really thrilled and excited about these babies. This is what I was talking about. See right here on Wednesday, so it was Wednesday, not Tuesday, how we're going to dip back into the 42s, which in my backyard could mean that we may go down into the upper 30s. So this little window of cold temperatures is what's keeping me from direct sowing. But as you can see, as we go further into next weekend, we start staying back into the sustaining 70s and 80s, along with overnight temps of the 50s. Germination bag is still plugging along, and I'm not going to pull all these out, but there's still just a couple of peppers and squashes, or cucumbers. Peppers and cucumbers that are over here that haven't germinated. There's a couple of more squashes, if you can see, that did and are ready to, and this is just in between Friday and today that those popped out like that, or really Saturday, because I potted up on Saturday. And there's a couple over here that have one or two that need to stay in here a little bit longer. That's gonna conclude our first spring and summer tour, so stay tuned and watch us as we go through planting our spring summer garden from almost 90% or more off seed that we grew ourselves. So have yourself the best day ever.